I need you to load your fucking boat up and come. I'm about to get fucking arrested.
Who does she sound like? Tell me she doesn't sound like Ruth from Ozark. Tell me she doesn't sound like Ruth.
And until you do, how's about you fuck off?
I love this. I absolutely love this.
Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Who is he? Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And who is he? Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And what he do? And he's gonna react to all the self-snitching.
Hi, this is Bruce Rivers. Welcome to another fun-filled episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts. I'm Bruce Rivers, coming to you with my pearl handle pistol cufflinks, accompanied by our content genius, Michael Rivers. Today we are reacting to when you turn a misdemeanor into a felony. If you're getting stopped for no license, that's a misdemeanor. You take off because you don't have a license, that's a felony. Before we get to that, this is brought to you by eSign.com. eSign.com is a very effective way to remotely do business. I use it all the time for just about every document that I send out if I need a signature. When you are sitting there in your basement and you're avoiding service because your baby's mama is trying to establish that you are the father and you don't want any paternity, well, you need a lawyer to fight that, don't you? And the lawyer you have, he's got eSign because he downloaded the app. He's got 3 free signatures a month, and you go get your lawyer and you sign the retainer agreement eSign. The other great thing about eSign is that if you have a deal that's on the table and time is of the essence, a personal meeting is going to take too much time. So what do? You eSign it. So eSign, if it's not eSign, no one signs. The title is, this is a 21-year-old turns a misdemeanor into a felony. And this is originally published by Body Cam Watch. So let's analyze it.
On February 20th, 2023, an officer conducted a traffic stop on a vehicle for a partially covered license plate. When he queried the tag, the driver was listed as having her driving privileges permanently revoked.
Now, mind you, had this person just decided, I'm going to take an Uber instead of driving in my own car because I don't have a license, none of this would have happened. Or Lyft.
How are you doing?
Knock it off.
Alright, the Deputy Motor Sheriff's Office letting you know traffic stop is being video and other recorded. Okay, you have your driver's license, registration, for insurance?
I don't have my ID.
You don't have your ID?
No.
Rebecca, you own the car, correct?
Yes, I do. It's my vehicle.
Okay. Are your license suspended?
My license is suspended.
Yes. Your license was cancelled because you failed to take it last, so you were supposed to take it.
First of all, if your license is revoked, like permanently revoked, you know that it's permanently revoked. And you can't talk your way out of that just by saying, oh, it's not suspended because it shows up in their computer.
No, it's not.
Are you telling me? Because I have access to motor vehicle data, and we ran your tag, and your tag is suspended. Let me see your registration for insurance. That expired. You have your insurance card?
Okay, so now no insurance, no license.
No, that's it.
This
Hey,
the one?
Where are you at?
Any proof of insurance or else?
That is all I fucking have.
Your car is about to be towed.
Okay, why is she taking the attitude with this cop? This cop is being a nice guy. Well, not nice, but he's not being a dick.
If I don't have proof of insurance.
Where are you at? Can you please come? I need you to load your fucking boat up and come. I'm about to get fucking arrested.
Who does she sound like? Tell me she doesn't sound like Ruth from Ozark. Tell me she doesn't sound like Ruth.
And until you do, how's about you fuck off?
Oh my fucking God. I love this. I absolutely love this.
Apparently my shit was suspended.
Fucking Ada, she sound like Ruth, doesn't she? Oh.
My fucking tag and license.
My fucking tag and license. I'm about to get fucking arrested.
My license was suspended.
So she's riding around with somebody who's got a valid license. Why wouldn't you have her drive?
So for a final stop, Kings Highway. And use me.
He ain't fucking towing my car. He is not fucking towing my car. Robin has her fucking license. license and shit, she can drive it back to the house.
Ma'am, step out of the car.
I'm not stepping out of the vehicle.
He's got grounds to arrest her right now because she's driving on a revoked license. That's a misdemeanor. You can arrest for a misdemeanor. You don't always have to get arrested for a misdemeanor, but if you're being a little bitch from hell, you're going to get arrested.
Step out of the car. It's
For what
not a
reason?
request. It's
For
an order.
what reason?
Start me another unit.
I'm not fucking listening. There is no goddamn reason for me to get out of my goddamn car.
You're under arrest.
Let's just say you wake up next to that in the morning. Wouldn't that be just a lovely, angry voice to listen to? I mean, unbelievable. And now he's telling her she's under arrest.
Get out the car.
No!
Get out the
I'm
car.
fucking under arrest! Can you fucking come get me? For no fucking reason!
Record this.
Record!
Don't.
Do not fucking touch me!
Ma'am?
Okay. Now, you're 21 years old, you're female, and you got a big old cop next to you. Do you think this is gonna help you? I mean, just do the thought process. You think fighting with this cop is somehow gonna be in your best interest?
Stop
Do
pulling.
not touch me!
Pulling from me.
Ryan, come get me! What the fuck?
I don't.
Ryan, no!
I
Record
don't-
this
I
shit!
It's-
Record this!
Everything's recorded.
Come on! There's no fucking reason
Stop
for this!
resisting.
Sorry, piece
You
of
stay
shit.
there, you'll be arrested. Okay?
You're
She's
dead.
got to chill. She's got to chill. Stop, or you're gonna be thrown on the ground. Stop it.
Let me fucking go.
No, you're under arrest.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I'm not under arrest. Yes, you are. I mean, you're going to argue with the cop whether you're under arrest or not? You know, I'm all for civil disobedience. I'm all for standing up for yourself. And there's a time and a place to do that. On the side of the fucking road, while you're getting handcuffs put on you, is not the place. The best thing you can do in a situation like this is just shut up.
You break my fucking arm, you sorry piece of shit. I'm gonna fucking punch you.
You break my arm, I'm going to punch you with my broken arm. Does that make sense?
Well, that's a felony right there for making a threat.
Oh, now we got a threat of violence against a police officer. Okay, let's keep going.
You just upgraded from a misdemeanor to a felony.
This is no reason for this.
You put yourself in this situation, not me.
There's no reason for this. What am I being arrested for?
Resisting arrest without violence. Okay?
For what?
Not stepping out of the car when I told you to do so.
This is my fucking vehicle. I don't have to.
Yes, you do.
No, I do not.
Oh, you want to learn? Anything illegal on you?
No, don't fucking touch me. You are not a fucking woman.
Am I patting you?
You are not a woman.
I don't have to be a woman.
I will fucking
okay?
scream rape.
You just.
I will fucking scream rape. You know, some people, look over to their person and think, God, I'm just so lucky to be with you. I don't suppose many people would look at her and have that thought.
Scream all you want. I told you everything's being recorded.
Call mom.
Take off your glasses.
No.
Get in the car.
She can't take her glasses off because she's handcuffed.
Fucking piece of shit. Next.
You might have been going fishing later, but I don't know.
One under arrest. Irate party. Okay. You guys understand what happened?
Why is her stuff suspended?
So she was ordered to take a class. Okay. I tried to explain that to her, and then she didn't. Her license was suspended as a result. That would have been just a ticket. I don't know why she made it this way.
That's just it. You know if your shit's suspended. You absolutely know. And why fight with the cop over that issue? There's times to fight. That is not a time to fight. Why would you make something more out of this than it is? But I see this all the time. I see people. I had a client that it was really sad because I think he was having kind of a mental episode at the time, but he was getting pulled over for a DUI, and then he just started hauling off on the cops. I mean, it would have been a low level 4th degree DWI, no jail time. See you later. But instead, they took him to the ground and they tased him, and the taser wasn't doing much to him at all, and he was fighting with the cops, and you turn that into a felony. Why? When you have trouble with your driver's license, like from a DUI, or probably, in her case, probably multiple speeding tickets or multiple moving violations. That's probably why she had to take that class. Take the fucking class. Give it the attention it deserves, because guess what? If you don't, this happens. You give the officer and you give the cops the ability to fuck with you. You know, anytime you're not handling your stuff, your shit, for lack of a better word, you're giving the government a foray into controlling part of your life. Now, Ruth here, we'll just call her Ruth because she reminds me so much of Ruth from the Ozarks. The only problem she has is herself. I mean, her getting sideways with the officers is just nuts. I had another client that he rolled his vehicle running away from the cops. And let me just tell you, and the cops are trained drivers, pretty much. They know how to pit maneuver. They know, they're going to be able to probably catch it. Very rare that somebody is talented enough to escape the officers, but it does happen. But it's not worth it. It's a felony.
He's in the back of my car now. All right, here's what we're gonna do. So there's no insurance on the car. I tow the car right now. Okay, I don't want to tow the car with you guys. I
can take the car right home.
Okay, there's no insurance on it. Okay, that is a criminal offense in the state of Florida. The car cannot be on a public roadway.
Remember what happened? We did a video a while back where the cop gave somebody a break, and because he was going 100 miles an hour down the road, and then he lets him go and said, anyway, he wasn't valid, and the cop just thought I'd just give this guy a break, and then not even 12 minutes down the road, he's underneath a semi, decapitated both he and his girlfriend. You know, while we want to get breaks from cops, sometimes it just isn't worth it.
Not insured. I am going to let you keep the car and park the car.
My mom said that she could put insurance on the car real quick.
Hey, roll this window down.
She's good. She's talking to mom. It's the driver that was out of control.
Is in the back of the cop car. I can't send you anything.
Yeah, it's her. She's the problem. I mean, they didn't really do anything.
Okay.
Her license suspended. She didn't believe it, and then she made a scene out of it.
Okay.
She didn't want to get out the car, so she got assisted.
Okay, cool.
So I'm just gonna let her park.
She didn't want to get out of the car, so she got assisted. I love how they call it assisted.
Private property.
Okay.
Because her mom is gonna get insurance on. Your mom is gonna put insurance on the vehicle right now.
Where's the VIN number on this? Is it this?
Right here.
That's what I thought.
Yes.
She said it was on the dash. That's not the dash.
Yeah. So if you want to keep that, it should be there.
Michael just raised a good question. What if the cops wanted to search the vehicle at this point? They certainly could, because they've arrested her. They have the ability to seize the vehicle at this point because there's no insurance on it. And you do have a lower expectation of privacy in a vehicle than you do in your home. So you could do an inventory search right now. And that's the thing. If you're driving without a license, guess what happens? If you got dope or something in the car, it's not that hard for them to figure out a reason to search the car.
Oh, my mom wants to talk to you on speaker.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I get out for a second?
For what?
Yes, I'm not going to tow the car. I'm going to let her park at the gas station.
You can stand over here.
I'm going to let her park at the gas station. Just make sure that before the vehicle moves, you guys put insurance on it, because driving without insurance is a criminal violation in the state of Florida. So if anybody else gets caught driving,
Funny how all this shit happens in Florida.
Yes, her tag is good. As a matter of fact, let me check. I don't know.
I love it.
How old are you?
16.
You're 16? Okay. Who's that, your mom or?
That was my grandma. She's on her way.
Oh, okay. Okay. You're related to these people?
No,
Friends?
the one that got arrested is my dad's girlfriend.
Okay.
Yeah.
The one that got arrested is my dad's girlfriend. Now, she's 21 years old. How old is Dad?
Alrighty. So here's what you're gonna do. Okay. No reason to call me a dick. She put herself in this situation. She would be.
Snatched her out of the car and she hit her head and everything.
Listen.
So.
When if I asked her to step out of the car multiple times, she doesn't have the right to refuse. It's an order. A driver or passenger, anybody. If
And that's one thing people don't understand. When the cop is on the side of the road and he's going to arrest you and he orders you to do something, it's called a lawful order. Failure to obey a lawful order is also a crime in and of itself. So, we see all these videos, on TikToks, with these auditors, I think they call themselves. But in all reality, you don't have to answer questions for cops. But if he asks you to get out of the vehicle and you don't get out of the vehicle, sometimes if it's dark, and especially if you're African American and you're afraid, pull over to the nearest lighted spot or populated spot. But it better not be several miles down the road because they're going to pit maneuver you and they're going to arrest you with guns because they're going to think that you're taking off. But you don't have the right to refuse to obey a lawful order. You don't have to give any information. And this bullshit about identifying yourself, the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution gives you the right to not incriminate yourself. That includes anything that you say. So they can't compel you to say a thing.
they get asked to get out of the car, they have to get out of the car, okay? If not, they're assisted. And in this case, I didn't feel like I needed to taste or anything like that. I just pulled her from the car, okay? But I didn't take her down, nothing like that.
He doesn't really have to explain himself to this young lady. But, you know, he's being very calm and he's explaining himself. This is a very reasonable officer.
Again, everything's on camera, okay? But again, the only thing she needed to do was to comply, and she would have been let go with a ticket. And now she's in the back, okay? Question? Is she gonna... She's gonna...
My grandma's on.
She's coming here?
Yeah.
Okay. You're good? Go ahead.
She's saying?
Yeah.
About the dogs.
Whose dogs are they?
My sister.
They're your sisters?
Yeah, that's why I said I could take the car back home because we were gonna go take them home.
Okay. Well, you can figure out the dog situation. You're free to go. Ma'am, pull off the road. What's that?
So I'm just gonna leave her by herself with a whole bunch of cops.
Yeah, her grandma's coming to get her. She called her grandma.
That's weird. Why wouldn't she go with them? I suppose she wants to stick back by her dad's girlfriend.
Grandma, you are free to leave. If you don't leave, you can go too.
Any time a cop tells you you're free to fucking leave, guess what you should do? You should fucking leave.
Alrighty. I'm all right. Thank you. Sorry for the mess. Have a good one. This would have been a ticket. That's it. And you escalated the whole traffic stop. There was no reason for what you created this scene.
Now, in all reality, you know, even though she threatened the officer and she resisted arrest, those will probably be pled down to misdemeanors in all candor. Because even though she was resisting, kind of, she wasn't really... she didn't have to go to the ground. She wasn't striking back. It wasn't an assault. She did threaten to punch the officer with her broken arm if he broke it. So, but why was she that angry with the cop? You know, one of the things is I've gotten older, I've gotten more patient, and I know when to say stuff and when not to say stuff. When I was younger, like in my 30s, and I was a lawyer, I used to take umbrage with just the littlest things. It was so stupid. Now looking back on it, you know, you gotta be calm and measured in most situations. If there's a time to let off some steam, have that be when you're by yourself in your vehicle, or you know, at home by yourself. You know, don't take it out on other people. She had no business screaming at that cop and taking the attitude she had with the cop. She was pissed off at the situation, and she took it out of the cop, and she made it, you know, a bad situation a lot worse. She wasn't going to get arrested. He was just going to say, okay, we got to figure out this car situation. And if you had a licensed driver in the fucking car, why wasn't the licensed driver driving? You wouldn't even have gotten a ticket, except for maybe the no insurance ticket. Anyway, so that's our little reaction to Miss Felony. So we'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts. Make sure you subscribe, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, and sign up for Patreon. Hi, this is Bruce Rivers. Welcome to another fun-filled episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts. I'm Bruce Rivers, your very own board-certified criminal defense lawyer, and we're here today to talk about the fun-filled, kind of grotesque things that you can't talk about at cocktail parties. So I'm your guilty pleasure. So get your white wine and get your popcorn, and let's see what we can dive into. Today we're reacting to man beheaded in broad daylight at a Dallas motel. Well, I'll stay out of that motel because you check in and I guess you don't check out, according to the manager, who never is going to see the light of day again, unfortunately. Before we get to this, we're brought to you by AskALawyer.com, right? AskALawyer.com is a very loyal sponsor of the channel. Same folks that brought you eForms and eSign. And if you need a lawyer for whatever reason, and you just want to get to the next level, go to AskALawyer.com for $49. If you have a landlord dispute, if you can get a living, breathing lawyer to ask questions, and it's really valuable. And if you're doing your own research, it's got an AI component, and that AI component is trained in all of 50 states. So if you're representing yourself, you can kind of go in there with some tools that you wouldn't have otherwise. And so it's very reasonable in terms of fees. And if you are looking at having somebody bill your account every month and you're trying to get this thing off of your charge because you don't want that's what they're doing actually. So if you have a landlord dispute, if you have any kind of you're being sued, or if you just need some guidance on a legal issue, go to AskALawyer.com. No funny statements about grandma, because grandma's not looking at any lawsuits against her grandson right now, which is good. She's just content doing the AI thing with the legal research in her Cheeto stained underwear. So go to AskALawyer.com. All right, now I haven't seen this. I just heard about this from my team, and let's just get into it. First of all, if you're going to court, and it depends upon what you're arguing about. So certain cases, you're starting out in a hole. So if the title of the case is man beheaded at a motel, and you're the defendant, guess what that jury is almost automatically doing? Can I picture him doing this? When you do jury selection, you sit there and you question, you think you could be fair? Well, when you have a title, man beheaded at a motel, I can be fair. I can convict him as squarely as anybody else. It sucks because as a defense lawyer, you got nothing,
Now to a wild story about a savage attack at a Dallas motel today. You've probably seen it, heard about it. We want to warn you, though, some of what you're about to learn and hear is very graphic. Tonight, one man is facing a capital murder charge after witnesses say another man was beheaded with a machete.
I don't know about you, but, my machete is usually in the shop and getting sharpened or whatever. But who walks around with a fucking machete, honestly? And then why would you use it on somebody? Could your dispute with the manager of this hotel be that bad that you got to cut his head off?
Our Marvin Hurst hearing from witnesses tonight.
Suspect has a machete, and fire is noticing that he is actually cutting someone's head off.
Okay, that is like the 911 call is called in as it's happening. Why not tackle the guy? I suppose you don't want to go near a guy that's got a machete that's willing to cut somebody's head off. Well, and cutting somebody's head off is not an easy task.
3422 Samuel Boulevard went from peaceful to shocking. Dallas emergency responders received the call around 9:30 Wednesday morning. A beheading at a motel. Johnny, who doesn't want to show his face or give his last name, unfortunately says he saw it all.
What I saw, the dude that was cleaning up, he was coming out of 106. He was going to 108. And I was standing downstairs waiting on my ride. The manager was walking past him.
The 56-year-old says both men worked at the Downtown Suites Motel. Neither Dallas police nor the motel confirmed that. Police did say that 37-year-old Jordanes Cobos Martinez allegedly killed 50-year-old Chandran Nagamayala. It was the way they say he did it, with a machete, as the victim tried to escape the ambush and the blade.
This speaks of one of two things. Excessive cruelty is a product of one of two things. Either some type of cartel, send a message type thing, or mental illness. I mean, who the hell is in the process of rational thought and think, this is a good idea?
He was trying to get to his office, and he was hollering for his wife and them to tell him, help, help, help. And then the dude was chasing him. He literally chased him down, and he couldn't get in the office.
In front of the victim's family, Johnny says, beheading the man.
He literally went over there and picked the man's head up and walked over to this dumpster and put the man's head in the dumpster.
Kim, who doesn't want to release her last name,
can you blame her? I mean, fuck.
Came home to the motel and a crime scene.
This is unexpected. So unexpected.
I would hope so. I would hope that a beheading would be unexpected. Oh, this shit happens every day. We knew this was going to happen.
She, like everyone else, is trying to figure out what happened. Police have not said that just yet. Witnesses told CBS News Texas they did not see a fight. They did see a family in pain, watching the unthinkable happen right in front of them.
I know I would be going through shambles if I witnessed that. To see someone decapitated, come on now.
So I don't wish the death penalty on nobody, but that dude deserved to die just like he killed that man.
Marvin Hurst, CBS News Texas. What's
his next step? His next step is, he's going to jail. I mean, he's already in jail, I think. And then you have a bail hearing. Well, he's not getting out because that's particular cruelty is one of the aggravating factors, and cutting somebody's head off, one could argue, would be particularly cruel. So in a sworn statement to police, Dallas County Magistrate, a Dallas Police Department detective, said that the suspect, 37-year-old Jordanes Cobos Martinez, was involved in an argument Wednesday morning with the victim, 50-year-old Chandra Nagamala. Both men worked at the Downtown Suites Hotel on Samuel Boulevard, east of downtown. A witness, who is another motel employee, told police that she was cleaning a room with Cobos Martinez when Nagamala told them to not use a washing machine that was broken. Jesus Christ. The witness told police that Cobos Martinez became upset with Nagamala for having witness translate the communication instead of speaking to Cobos. Well, that would be worthy of it. I mean, why wouldn't you cut somebody's head off for that? Police say video evidence then shows Cobos Martinez leave the room, pull out a machete, and start hacking Nagamala. The victim ran screaming, still under attack, toward the motel office where his wife and son were located. A witness who requested remain anonymous, because everybody doesn't want to give their name up because fear retribution, told CBS Texas that he saw the entire incident play out. He chased him from 108 all the way to the office. The man was trying to get into the office to tell his family, the witness said. Nagamala's wife and son tried to intervene several times. Police said that, but Cobos Martinez pushed them away and continued to hack. God. Cobos Martinez then took Nagamala's cell phone and keycard from his pockets before again resuming the attack until Nagamala's head was removed from his body. Jesus. Then he kicked the head twice in the parking lot and proceeded to pick it up and carry it to the dumpster and put it inside. What the hell? What is our society coming to? It's like, reminds me of the callous nature of Sarah Boone. Remember her? I mean, she put her boyfriend in a fucking suitcase until he suffocated to death. One of the reasons I can't hurt anybody is I just can't seem to see somebody suffer, even if I don't like them. You know what I mean? So if you see somebody about to cut somebody's head off, you should stop them any way you can. So sometimes what people do in these things, they look back and say, what was his backstory? Apparently he's from Cuba. I don't know that for sure. We haven't confirmed that. And that he was in ICE custody. But I think if you're from Cuba, you can get asylum here pretty readily. And he was released from ICE detention in January, saying that there weren't any flights to Cuba or something, which strikes me odd because we could have just put him in a raft and sent him back. So Dallas Fire Rescue said if crews are dispatched to the scene of an incident involving potential and ongoing threat, our members are required to stage at a safe distance until law enforcement has deemed the scene safe for entry. So that's the cops aren't the confrontation, or the fire department aren't the confrontational folks. I feel bad for his family because he got a wife. They came out and they didn't know what to do. She was screaming and hollering, but I told her to get back because I didn't know if he was going to attack her too. And apparently, after close contact with a phone book, I don't know if it was a phone book or not. That's what they used to use to beat confessions out of people. But this police said that he admitted to the crime afterwards. But so now they have an admission from him corroborated by eyewitness accounts. So Cabos Martinez is being held in Dallas County Jail on a capital murder charge. Jail records also show an immigration hold. Records show that he has been arrested twice for auto theft in Florida and has indecency with a child and assault charge. Well, you know, here's the thing. If you're coming here from another country and you're not legal, guess what? Stay off the fucking radar screen by not committing crimes. You know, they're sending us their rapists, they're murderers. I mean, give me a break. You know, most of the immigrants that come here, why do they want to come here? For work, right? And guess who hires them? American companies. You know, so you want to be pissed off at somebody, follow the money. You know, my guess, there aren't a whole lot of immigrants that come to this country and behead people. This is probably the only situation where this has happened. And it's just so stupid. Oh. So it's either drugs, you know, like methamphetamine or whatever, and, you know, psychosis spurred by drugs, or it's a long-standing grind with this motel owner, which no dispute should ever arise to this. So the Dallas police say that he was arrested on Wednesday on a capital murder charge, but let's react to this video about who he is.
You're looking at video of the man accused of cutting off another man's head, being booked and fingerprinted into the Dallas County Jail. Jordanis Cobos Martinez is being held on a capital murder charge and an immigration hold.
So he must have been doing some painting before this because he's got a suit on. Why do you think he's got that suit on? Probably he's covered in blood. I'm sure that's a hazmat suit.
But for this woman, what happened in Dallas brings back awful memories.
It's reshaped my life, for sure.
Records show back in 2017, Cobos Martinez was accused of carjacking her in California. Released on bail, he fled the state. She agreed to talk to us if we did not reveal her identity.
What he did and what he's done and what he's continuing to do, he has no moral compass in his body.
In 2018, Cobos Martinez was arrested in Harris County on multiple felonies. He appears to have spent several years in jail before pleading guilty to a misdemeanor assault charge. He was then extradited back to California, where he was acquitted of the carjacking charge.
Acquitted? Good for you. Live to fight another day, right?
But convicted of felony false imprisonment.
We have faith in our judicial system. As a community, we have faith that they will stand up and protect. And unfortunately, in this case, this man was able to get away with it.
At some point, Cobos Martinez was taken into ICE custody. ICE officials told us this afternoon that he was released from ICE custody on January 13th of this year because, quote...
Oh, was that under Trump's watch? Trump had this guy and they released him? Oh my.
Quote, there was no removal flights to Cuba under the Biden administration, unquote. However, we found news coverage and even a government video from 2023 showing deportation flights to Cuba had resumed. We continue to ask questions about his dealings with the immigration system.
I do feel like a disappointment. This man's death could have been prevented if it was handled in an appropriate manner.
She says the system failed both of them.
I'm so sorry. I hope this family can find closure in this event.
In Dallas, I'm Tanya Iser.
And think about the poor sod who's got to represent this guy. Now, I'm a private defense lawyer, so I can kind of pick and choose my cases a little bit more carefully. But if you're some low-level, but it's a death penalty case, so they're going to have somebody that's death penalty qualified to do the case. But think about having to deal with this guy on a regular basis. Clearly, he's got a screw loose. And probably not so much so that he's, insane, or can get off on a mental illness. I mean, maybe he can. I don't know. It sounds like you have an admission. You've got, and I'm sure there's footage of this. Now, apparently, this is all caught on camera. We're not going to show it to you, but I'm going to take a look at it. And we may put it up on Patreon. What I don't get is, why isn't anybody calling 911? Do you think he might have asked for a raise and just was denied a raise? Ugh. All right. I don't need to see anymore. After seeing that, we're not going to show it to you here, but after seeing that, I mean, this guy's totally defenseless. And now Mr. Cabos Martinez is defenseless. He's absolutely defenseless. There's no rhyme or reason. I suppose you could say, you do a mental health evaluation, and if there's, if he's not competent to stand trial, then he gets committed, and it's an ongoing thing. He'll never see the light of day. Whether you're in a facility or whether you're going to get the death penalty. I mean, but Jesus Christ, what is this? I'm going to put into our team. So let's do something a little more fun next time. Jesus Christ. I mean, honestly, we did the reaction on that Ukrainian lady that was stabbed for absolutely no reason. And this seems kind of similar, although she was probably killed immediately. I would suspect. I mean, she didn't know what hit her, and it just happened so fast. It happened by somebody that he knew. He was evidently working there, and I just don't know how you square all this, with mental health and drugs, and there's no rational reason why you would do this. Oh, I know you cut his head off, but I bet you had a darn good reason. So the poor sod who's got to defend him, I mean, the only thing he can do is say this was a drug-induced, and he shouldn't get the death penalty because it wasn't in his right mind. And so the best you can hope for is life rather than the death penalty. But Jesus, Martha, let's get some good news in here sometime, okay? All right, we'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts. Make sure you subscribe. Go to CLR Bruce Rivers. See, we got new mugs. We got everything you need for your best holiday ever, because Nick is about to upgrade his little box, and we don't want him living out on the street too much longer. So go to clrbrucerivers.com for all your merch needs. Sign up for Patreon. Go to subscribe. Follow us on Facebook and wherever else we are. So we'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts. Hi, this is Bruce Rivers. Welcome to another episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts. I'm Bruce Rivers, board-certified criminal defense lawyer, coming to you with my pearl-handle pistol cufflinks given to me so graciously by our content genius, Michael Rivers, who's sitting right behind the camera as we speak. Today, we're reacting to suspect shot after wrestling Texas cop over a stolen car outside of the Family Dollar. But before we get to that, this is brought to you by eSign.com. eSign.com is an effective way to remotely do business. I use it all the time in my business. You can use it anytime you're sitting in your mother's basement after downloading whatever you downloaded, and also the federal government's after your. So what do? You call a lawyer, you download the app, you get 3 free signatures a month. He emails you a retainer, and if it's not e-sign, no one signs. And so you sign it. It's just an effective way to remotely do business. I use it all the time in my practice, but you can use it for anything. It doesn't have to be just for retainer agreements. You can use it when you're doing a power of attorney, if you're winding up a family thing, any kind of document you need signed. Rental agreement, a purchase agreement, a business agreement. Anything you need signed, you can have it done by eSign. eSign.com, an effective way to remotely do business. All right, so this is a cold reaction. I haven't seen this at all, so let's just get into it.
Step out, man, because you get in a stolen vehicle.
So what do we see here? Just off the bat, we see a black man being pulled over by a white cop with his gun out.
Chaotic body camera video shows what led up to a deadly shooting in a Family Dollar parking lot after Texas police officers approach a stolen vehicle.
And so here's the thing. Now, the only reason I'm pro-police is because they feed my children. They take people off the street, and I put them right back on. So when people say you're a defense lawyer, you must hate cops, I don't hate cops at all. They feed my kids. But when you are pulled over and the cop has his gun out, don't put the fucking car in drive, especially if the car is stolen. You're better off taking, the loss. You know what I mean? So you don't commit a felony to avoid a misdemeanor. So if you think you have a traffic warrant, you don't run from the cops. You don't get a fleeing charge. So let's see what happens here. All right. The other thing I would like to know, that he doesn't appear to be armed, right? And I'm just spitting out what's going through my head. What would be lost if the cops just backed off because this guy is not complying, and the cop's life is in jeopardy too because he's in the car and he's could run over somebody. What would be lost if you just let him go and gently followed him? I mean, I'm not saying that it's always possible, but you got your gun out, and let's see. It doesn't have to always end up in a shooting.
Stop.
He doesn't appear to be a threat, except for the fact that he's trying to put the car in gear.
On April 11th, Houston police officer Kay Cummins was on patrol when he noticed a stolen Honda parked at a Family Dollar on the city's south side. Body camera video shows Cummins pull his squad car directly behind the stolen vehicle before getting
So he can't go anywhere.
out and approaching the driver. Cummins tells the suspect, later identified as Jamar Vantrell Thompson, to get out of the vehicle.
Put your hands, don't move. Do not move. Do you understand? Do not move. Do you understand? Man, what do you want to do? Step out.
When Cummins explains the vehicle is stolen, Thompson says he's tripping.
Step out.
So when he says he's tripping, he's talking to the cops, saying, "What the fuck are you talking about? You're crazy."
Step out, man. Because you get in a stolen vehicle. Turn the vehicle off. What are you tripping for, man?
In other words, why are you going crazy on me?
Thompson then throws the car in reverse and rams into the parked squad car. After that, he and Cummins get into a physical brawl, even knocking down a woman standing in the park.
Now, this woman here, I think she's just trying to help. I don't know if she knows the guy or not, but she's in harm's way. There's no way she should be getting herself involved.
Stop. 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 Stop.
See what I mean? She's right. She gets knocked over. When you see a gun out, you hit the deck and you don't move. Just go the other way.
The pair then wrestle on the ground.
What the hell is she doing there? Honestly. I mean, she's too close and she could really be in harm's way.
During this time, the woman in the parking lot, identified as 35-year-old Donica Abraham, ended up with Cummins' taser.
How the hell did that happen? And what are you thinking, grabbing the cop's taser?
Investigators later determined she knew Thompson prior to the shooting. On the recording, Cummins can be heard yelling for her to return the taser, but she does not give it back.
I mean, let's just pause at this for a second. It's a stolen car, And so if it's a stolen car, they have the right to investigate for sure. But what good can come of her involvement in this? I mean, she is really, really doing herself a disservice because she could wind up getting killed, number one, and number two, getting charged with a felony.
The fight continues, ending only when Cummins opens fire. Cummins puts in a shots fired call as the woman on the scene begins screaming.
A guy's got a gun. Back the fuck off. And I'm not saying the cop is right for shooting, but it just seems to me that some of these physical altercations could have been handled so much differently.
Don't move, you understand? Sir!
Cummins again puts in another call, reporting that Thompson was only shot once.
24! MLK needs the woman! Shot fired! I need a unit!
You hear that breathing? When you're in an altercation like that, even only for a couple minutes, it is so exhausting. I'm a lover, not a fighter. I've never been in a physical altercation like this, but I've talked to cops who've been in situations like this, and it's just the amount of adrenaline and the amount of exhaustion it just takes a lot out of you when you're in a physical fight like this.
I'm okay, suspect is shot. One time.
First responders gave Thompson medical aid on the scene, but he was later pronounced dead at the hospital. After the shooting, Abraham was arrested and charged with interfering with public duties. The officer-involved shooting is still under investigation at this time.
So, let's look at this. The officer used deadly force. And why did the officer use deadly force? The officer used deadly force because somebody took his taser and the suspect wasn't complying. But then I think the suspect kind of looked like he was getting on top of him and getting the better of him. The whole decision to use lethal force, cops have what they call a continuum, a force use continuum. So you start out with verbal commands. Then if that doesn't work, then you get physical. If that doesn't work, then you go to taser. And then if that doesn't work, blah, blah, blah. So, all the way up until lethal force. And it'll come down to whether the use of lethal force fits within that force continuum and whether or not the officer acted reasonably. Anytime you see anything to do with a death and the suspect, whoever it is, whether it's the officer or somebody else, always comes down to the term reasonable. What would a reasonable person do in this circumstances? Was the threat perceived by the suspect or by the defendant was it reasonable for him to fear death or great bodily harm? That's what was it reasonable to be able to retreat, if there's a duty to retreat instead of a stand your ground state? So when you look at these things, it comes down to what would a reasonable person do? And in this case, what would a reasonable officer do? And I don't really know. When you see somebody not complying like that, it seems to me that if you got an overwhelming number, call another like 5 or 10 officers and back off and see what happens. Don't know. I've reviewed training, of officers. I've cross-examined officers on training. It seems to me that we need to have some kind of way so this kind of shit doesn't happen, But sometimes you can't avoid, the actions of irrational people. And if he's on drugs or if he's just got mentally ill or whatever the issue is that, caused him not to comply, it cost him his life. And whether it was the right decision or not by that officer, it looks like it's being investigated. It all comes down to whether or not, the force continuum and the reasonable use of force was justified. And that's not for me to say, but it is food for thought. So this has just been our reaction to You're Trippin' Man right outside the dollar store. So we'll see you next time here at Criminal Lawyer Reacts. I'm Bruce Rivers, board-certified criminal defense lawyer with our content genius, Michael Rivers. Make sure you just follow us on Patreon. Subscribe. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. We'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts. Hi, this is Bruce Rivers. Welcome to another episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts. I'm Bruce Rivers, board-certified criminal defense lawyer with almost 25 years of experience. I try cases. I love trying cases. I feel most at home cross-examining the shit out of people that I love to cross-examine, cops. But anyway, today's episode, as always, is brought to you by eforms.com. That's eforms.com. If you need a form, any kind of legal form, go to eforms.com. It will help you. And it's so cool. It's a great resource if you have a loan agreement, a lease agreement, a power of attorney, anything form related. I use them, and it's so much easier than reinventing the wheel. So go to eforms.com, because if you went to me, I would just go to eforms.com and then write it all up for you and charge you a shit ton of money. And guess what? Just go to eforms.com so you don't have to worry about paying me what you can get from them for free. Anyway, so today we're reacting to the Alan Weisselberg plea that happened last week. Now, Alan Weisselberg pled guilty to 15 felony counts. He owes almost $2 million in tax restitution payments. Who is Alan Weisselberg, and why does this matter to the organization? If you remember, how did they get Al Capone? They got him through a fucking bookkeeper, and it was taxes that got Al Capone. Alan Weisselberg has the keys to the kingdom. In other words, for 40 years, he worked for the Trump Organization. He was the CFO, the chief financial officer. He's the one that wrote the checks. But here's the thing. The Trump Organization isn't this multinational conglomerate with all these people. It's a fucking mom and pop shop. You got dad, you got sons and daughter. And you got Alan Weisselberg, maybe a handful of other people. But it's a very closely held corporation. And nothing happens without Trump knowing it. Nothing happens without his direction. That's a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners are hyper controlling. They want to control their destiny. They want to make sure they know. And not a dollar left that organization without Trump knowing about it, right? So you've got Alan Weisselberg, who knows where all the bodies are buried. He is the chief financial officer. He is the one that can say, yeah, that's Donald Trump's signature. That's Donald Trump's signature. That's Donald on the tax returns, on the checks, on this and that. So he is a key player. Why is this important? Well, let's just talk about what the agreement was. There's two key components to the agreement. The agreement calls for him to serve 5 months in jail, which is nothing, really. And he'll probably just do halfway house time at that. Who knows? But 5 months is all he's going to do. And for 15 federal fucking counts, that is an amazing sentence. But if we also look at what he's also required to do, is he's required to testify not against Trump himself, but against the organization. Why is that important? That's important because once he pleads, he no longer has the protection of criminal liability because he's already pled to everything they're going to charge him with. So he can't claim the Fifth Amendment. So if after he's done testifying against the organization, they want him to testify against Trump, he's going to have to. He will have to, because he can't claim the Fifth Amendment. And what's also, even if there was some exposure somewhere, the prosecutors could certainly give him immunity. So it's yet to be seen exactly what's going to happen with him. But where does this put Trump? First of all, let's analyze what's going on with Trump. Trump has so many irons in the fire. He's got 20 civil lawsuits. He's got cops from January 6th suing him. He's got a defamation case from a lady suing him. He's got all kinds of civil lawsuits. But who kind of gives a shit about that? That's just about money, and these people can come and go, and it is what it is. But he's got the Florida probe where the feds went in and searched his place for documents. You've got the Georgia probe where they have are convening a grand jury for election fraud or election interference. And then you have this New York thing. This New York thing, I think, is bigger than anybody thinks it is because he hasn't paid taxes in the last 20, 30 years. And this highlights a scheme to defraud the state of New York and the federal government of taxes. And how did they do that? One of the things that he did was they've inflated the value and deflated the value, depending upon who their audience was. If it's the federal government, they deflate it. If it's banks, they inflate it. Alan Weisselberg himself owes over almost $2 million, 1.9 and some change in taxes that the feds are going to try to collect from him, or that's part of the agreement that he owes. Think about that. That's a lot of money, and that's over probably 15 years worth of income taxes. If you look at those numbers, I know one of the numbers Trump had claimed back, I think in the 90s, 900 million in depreciation from one of the assets or a number of them. And he carried that forward a number of years, and it was all bullshit. And the thing about this is Weisselberg will go in front of a grand jury or wherever and assist in the prosecution of the organization, the Trump organization. That could very well bankrupt Trump's operation. Trump owes over $600 million in loans. Now, his agreement specifically didn't require him to testify against Donald Trump himself. And people have made a big deal out about that. There's no cooperation agreement. He's not cooperating. Well, bullshit. He got 5 months on 15 fucking felony counts. That doesn't happen. Okay, that does not happen without an agreement. And guess what? You don't file those agreements. You do not file those in court. It's called a 5K1. A 5K1 is an agreement to render substantial assistance to the government, right? You don't put that in a plea agreement. Why don't you put that in a plea agreement? Especially in a conspiracy case, because other people will try to fuck with you then. And because all the filings are public. And so if you have a gang case and you put down who the cooperators are, guess what? Those cooperators run the risk of getting killed. And so, or there's retaliation, or there's some other manipulation. So you never see those agreements. So whether there's an agreement to cooperate or not, we won't know it. So any of the talking heads that are talking about that there's no agreement to cooperate against Donald Trump, it's against the organization, that's all window dressing, because that's probably 100% BS. He's getting 5 months on a 15 federal count. It's been talked about that the agreement itself doesn't also protect him from any further prosecution. But guess what? He pled guilty to 15 fucking felonies. They're not going to go after him again. I think they went after him with everything they probably had. So I don't think he runs the risk of all of a sudden, now I've got this deal. Oh, shit, we forgot about that murder in New Jersey. First of all, no agreement would cover you on a homicide. But I doubt that there's anything out there that he hasn't already pled to that he's got to worry about. So my sense is that his lawyers know what they're doing, that they've constructed this agreement, and there is, I guarantee you, there's a tacit agreement that he has to cooperate not only against the organization, but against Donald Trump himself. This is a public relations stance that people are taking, or that he's taking, so that throws Donald Trump off the scent, in the sense that, but he's pled and he's going to cooperate. And if he doesn't cooperate, guess what? Guess what happens? That 5 months turns into a lot longer prison sentence. So it'll probably be quite a while before he's actually sentenced and does his time, because guess what? You have to perform before you get the benefit of the bargain. And so it'll be a while before we see him get the benefit of that bargain. In other words, do his time. Now let's shift gears just a second to Fulton County, Georgia. So Lindsey Graham was before a federal judge, and the federal judge refused to stay his order. His order said you have to cooperate. So next week he's got to be before a grand jury, period. Rudy Giuliani testified for, I think, 6 or 8 hours before the grand jury. You've got a prosecutor down there who's very aggressive, and you watch what happens with her. I would not be surprised if she charges a RICO. I doubt that she will, but she very well, I mean, that is pretty, if she could threaten RICO by anybody that continued to participate in that, that may or may not be a possibility. But I think the Georgia case is going to heat up way faster than everybody thought, because there's a lot going on there. If they don't have the facts, guess what? That's when you file a motion. That's when you file a motion to suppress the evidence based upon illegal search and seizure. That is Trump's remedy. And Trump has said recently that he's threatening to file a lawsuit. For what? I mean, everything's been done in the legal way. He's got no remedy here. He's got no remedy until he's charged with a crime. And that's when he can file a motion for the suppression of evidence based upon an illegal search and seizure, the Fourth Amendment. But here's the other thing that they talk a lot, right? And they talk about how they came in with guns, they did this, they did that. But, so they have cameras all over Mar-a-Lago, right? Yeah, they do. The Trump organization could release those videos, but they don't want to do that because it doesn't fit their narrative. They don't, these jackbooted thugs with machine guns, with this, with that. That probably didn't happen. And here's the thing. They didn't just go in half-cocked, right? They've been in talks with Trump's team for a long time. Trump's team said, the National Archives and the feds have said, we're missing these documents, you need to bring them back. So they brought 15 boxes back. So then he said, well, we're still missing this and this and this. And his lawyers told them, we don't have anything else. So then they served subpoenas on them that they didn't respond to. So this isn't like they just are out to get Trump. They've been working with him, and Trump could have done this in a different way. Now they've taken, I think, 11 sets of documents. I'm not exactly sure the number, but and let's hope nothing comes of it, and it is bullshit, because who wants to see a former president charged with a crime? I don't necessarily want to. I do think it's fascinating, though. But Merrick Garland wouldn't have authorized this if he didn't think he had the goods. It's really important that, we take a step back and look at it critically. I'm not saying Trump's guilty of anything at all, but his remedies, are, and so he's hired one of the best defense lawyers in Georgia, Drew Feinling, former president of the National Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers, lawyer to Gucci Mane and Kodak Black, and he actually got Gucci Mane acquitted of a homicide. So he's got good talent. I mean, I'm glad to see that he's got good talent down there in Georgia, and he's been out there talking about that this is politically motivated, and he's saying all the right things that he's supposed to say. But we'll see what happens. And I want to give a shout out to Yigal Miller. I'm probably butchering it because it was written in Hebrew, and so I'm not sure if I got it quite right. But he is our $100 Patreon subscriber. And so I just want to give a shout out to Mr. Miller and really appreciate your support. Keep watching. And Mr. Miller or anybody else from the Patreon family, if you've got an idea that you want to see covered, hit us up. We'd be more than happy to accommodate you. Really appreciate all the support. We're over 700,000 strong. And we'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts. Make sure you subscribe, like what you like, follow, go on Shopify, stop yourself snitching. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, and we'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer.